what I want to say. But I want to take this in a different way. I kind of wrote down 5 things that, not necessarily that I did when I was a student, but looking back, I think they worked for me to get me to where I am today, and see if they make sense to you. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about what I do today. But the first thing that you guys need to know is be a student and take advantage of it. You have no idea how powerful it is when you're a student. Every single place here in the medical center will open the door for you. I don't know that there's a place in the medical center that if you present yourself as a student doing your master's or your PhD and that you're interested in what they do, they will open the doors. Everybody will, and including us at St. Luke's, and I'm sure your hospital will too. So take advantage of that. I got here in August of 2003 on a Monday to start classes like the week after that. 3 days after that, I had a job, simply because I went and knocked on the door at UTMB at the telemedicine lab, and I said, I'm going to start my master's and I'm looking for a job as a student. They gave me a job. The point is, be a student and take advantage of it. It's very powerful. That job at UTMB actually helped me a lot, and I realized early on during my master's that I really wanted to engage in as many real-life projects as I could and try to combine whatever I was looking at in the class with real-life projects and build like a portfolio. So since I started in 2003, every single project that I did, I kind of put it on my portfolio and started building it. And I put it online. And that actually got me a few interviews by the time I was ready to be done with my master's, and then by the time I was ready to finish my PhD. And today, everything I do in my current work, I keep logging it in my portfolio, and you can visit it online if you Google it. And I kind of put it there for people to see what I'm doing. And I think it's something that every student should do. So remember that. There are very few doors that won't open when a student knocks. The second thing that kind of helped me was keep an open mind. I had, as mentors in school, very creative people that helped me get funded and stay funded during my tenure at school. And sometimes they gave me projects that didn't really relate to my area, didn't really relate to what I was doing, but I always say yes, and I always try to do a good job at it. And one of those jobs that they gave me was to attend the MD Anderson Clinical Safety and Effectiveness Program. It was at the end of my master's, and I didn't really connect to what I was doing. I was focusing on telemedicine, and these guys were talking about performance improvement and quality. Well, as it turns out, my job now is entirely based on all the work that program taught me, and it turned out to be very, very good use of time. And I didn't know it at the time, but I had a lot of fun. I did a performance improvement project as the informatics person in the group. I was working with a whole bunch of anesthesiologists who didn't know anything about databases, didn't want to know anything about databases, and I had the time of my life. For a whole year, I was part of that group. I got to walk around MD Anderson, get to know their systems, and learn a lot. But it was just keeping an open mind. So as a student, go with the flow and keep an open mind and say yes to any offer when they offer you to do a project. And keep building your portfolio, everything you do. So the third point that I want to share with you is take advantage of the Texas Medical Center. I don't know how many of you know, but when you're a student in your master's program or in the PhD program, you can actually go to Rice, go to U of H and other universities and take classes there that count towards your degree. I did that a lot. You need to work it out with the university, but I took classes at Rice for programming, for mining databases, for a lot of things that count towards your degree, and you take advantage of things that usually you don't have in your school. So keep your eyes open for those types of opportunities, and again, seek real-world experiences when you do those things. The point number 4, and this is a funny story, but we all need mentors as we're going through school, and I was very lucky because I got great mentors at school. And I want to tell you a story. Right when I was transitioning from my master's into my PhD, I had the opportunity to have 3 great mentors that today I still very good friends with them, and they've helped me a lot. And each of them couldn't be different from each other, but each of them had a great impact in my life. And at some point during that time, I was meeting with all 3 during the same week, every week. And I kind of organized those meetings in a very strategic way. On Monday, I would meet with Elmer. I'm sure some of you know Elmer Bernstein. He's very focused, very rigid, and has a very strict mind about what an informatician should be. And I enrolled in his consumer informatics class, and I ended up being the only one in his class. So he sat me in his office and he said, Adol, we can do this one of two ways. We can do it the kindergarten way, where you come, I show you the slides, I give you a test, you pass or fail. Or we can do it the adult way. And I said, what is that? Well, we find a topic, we research it, we write an article, you publish it, you pass. I said, which way do you want to do it? The Mexican in me wanted to do it the kindergarten way, of course, but I was too afraid to say that, so I said, let's do it the adult way. You have no idea how big of an experience that was. We ended up writing a paper, and to this day, the paper that I wrote with Elmer in that class, my most cited paper. Still today, it was a great experience. So he taught me a lot. So my Mondays meeting were always with Elmer, because he would be, you're not doing a good job, you have to do this, you have to go take classes at Rice, you have to learn how to do this, data modeling, and so I started my week with a lot of stress, really thinking I wasn't doing a good job, that I needed to read more, that I needed to do more things. Midweek, I had my meeting with Dr. Turley. He was my theory mentor. He made sure whatever I was doing, I was looking at theory, making sure I was reading the right things, making sure I was understanding frameworks, models, and how it all fit into the informatics world. So by midweek, I was thinking, well, maybe I'm not doing such a bad work, right? Maybe I'm going in the right direction. And he really put the science into what I was doing, which at that time was very important for me, because I felt I was really lost. So midweek, I was feeling better. By Friday, I met with Dr. Kim Dunn. And those of you who know Kim Dunn, you know that she's a larger-than-life character. And my meetings ended with her because she always was very positive. She always told me how great of a job I was doing. And she always threw at me different challenges. And as crazy as they sounded, I always say yes. And I ended up being in very interesting places that to this day, they have served me well. So my week is starting with a lot of stress. Midweek, I was feeling more confident, and I ended on Fridays feeling like the greatest person in the world. So that was the dynamic during my semester. And my point here is, we choose our mentors for different reasons, and we need all sorts of mentors. So, and choosing your mentors is critical in getting you through the program and after the program. It is thanks to those mentors that I actually got to meet people who today are hired me, or who recommended me for the positions that I have. So I cannot thank enough my mentors and my friends. Number 5, and I guess I wish somebody had told me this when I was in my program, but I guess I didn't do it, as I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do it, but start planning your next step at least 2 years in advance. So I know that for some of you are already graduating today, but some of you who are still in the program, you should be trying to present every work that you do in class outside the classroom. Go show people in the hospitals everywhere you can the work that you're doing. That's why your portfolio is very important. Let people know what your plan is. So if you're thinking about what your next step is in the next 2 years, make sure people know about that plan, because people remember you. For example, that first job that I got in 2003 in Galveston, who knew that 8 years after that, one of my co-workers in that job was the one who recommended me to the St. Luke's VP for quality for my current job. So you never know. So just keep that in mind. And if I didn't work there, if I didn't show them my work, it would have never happened. Update your portfolio and CV, make it available online if you can. Apply. At the end of my PhD, about when it was 1 year left, I went to my first interview, and this is something that the school doesn't taught us. They didn't teach me how to interview for a job in informatics. I don't know if they're doing it now, but I remember my first interview. It was the worst interview, because the first question that they asked me is, how much do you want to make? That was the question that they started with, and that killed me. I didn't answer it right, and then I started questioning, did I answer too low? Did I went too high? They didn't call me back, of course, so I didn't get that job. But after that interview, what I try to do is I applied to different jobs every month, and I went and interviewed for about 6 months, at least once a month, to try to get it right, to try to learn how the interview should be done, and that really helped me. So those are the 5 points that I wanted. I wish somebody would have taken the time to share with me when I was a student. Be a student, take advantage of it, keep an open mind, say yes often, take advantage of the medical center and all the real-world experiences. We choose our mentors for different reasons. So seek